Not the peaceful kind that followed victory celebrations or solemn treaties, but a hollow, breathless quiet that lingered after too much blood had soaked into too many worlds. The skies above Cairn Prime were clear for the first time in 8 years. No plasma fire. No orbital bombardments. Just pale blue light reflecting off shattered spires and half-buried war machines. High Marshal Elira Voss, Supreme Commander of the Volari Dominion, stood on the balcony of the Citadel of Ash and watched the ruins smoke gently in the distance. Her silver armor was scorched and cracked, ceremonial now rather than functional, but she wore it anyway. Symbols mattered, especially after war. "We've won," one of her aides said softly behind her. "The Terran coalition has surrendered. Their fleets are gone. Their command worlds have fallen." Elira nodded, her expression calm, almost cold. Victory had always felt this way to her, quiet, heavy, and incomplete. She had been bred for command, engineered through generations to lead without hesitation or emotion. Mercy was a weakness the Volari had long since burned out of their bloodlines. And yet, something unsettled her. "Where's the human?" she asked. The aide hesitated. "Commander Elias Kane? He was captured during the final ground assault. Intelligence believes he's being transferred to a holding facility beneath the eastern ruins." Elira turned slowly. "Believes? The structure is unstable, Marshal. There was resistance, even after the surrender signal." A faint crease appeared between her eyes. Elias Kane, the human commander who had defied her strategies time and again, who had turned defeats into Pyrrhic victories and retreats into traps. He should have died on the battlefield weeks ago. Instead, he kept surviving. "Prepare my transport," Elira said. "I want to see him." The holding facility had once been a research complex, now repurposed into a prison carved deep into blackened stone. Flickering lights illuminated corridors filled with the low hum of failing power cores. Guards lined the walls, weapons raised, nervous despite the war's end. They led her to a reinforced chamber sealed with layered energy fields. Inside, Elias Kane sat alone. He was unarmed, injured, and chained to a gravitic restraint that pinned him to a metal chair. Dried blood streaked his face. His dark hair was matted, his uniform torn and burned. By every metric, he was defeated. Yet when he looked up at her, his eyes were sharp, alert, almost amused. "So," he said hoarsely, "you finally won." Elira studied him in silence. No fear, no pleading, just defiance, quiet and unyielding. "The war is over," she replied. "Your coalition surrendered 6 hours ago." He smiled faintly. "That's what they told you?" Her fingers curled slightly. "You doubt it." "I doubt you understand it," Elias said. "Wars don't end just because someone signs a document." Elira dismissed the guards with a gesture. The energy field remained, humming softly. "You're in no position to lecture me, human," she said. "Your fleets are shattered. Your allies scattered. Your people will be absorbed into the Dominion or erased. You lost." Elias leaned back, as far as the restraints allowed. "We lost the battle," he corrected. "Not the war." She felt it then, that unsettling sensation again. "Explain." "Humans don't fight the way you do," he said. "You aim for total domination. Clear lines. Decisive victories. We aim for survival. Adaptation. Time." Elira stepped closer to the barrier. "Time for what?" "For you to get comfortable," Elias said. "For you to believe it's over." In the days that followed, the Dominion celebrated. Victory parades marched through conquered systems. Flags were raised. Statues commissioned. Elira was hailed as the architect of the greatest military triumph in Volari history. She attended the ceremonies, delivered the speeches, accepted the honors. But at night, she returned to the prison. Elias Kane refused food twice. When he did eat, it was slowly, deliberately, as if each movement carried meaning. He asked questions about Volari culture, their history, their command structure. Elira answered more than she should have. "You don't act like a prisoner," she observed one evening. "I don't feel like one," he replied. "Your confidence is misplaced." "Is it?" Elias asked. "You've won every major engagement, and yet you're still here, talking to me." She didn't respond. Reports began filtering in, minor at first. Supply convoys failing to arrive. Communication relays going dark. Fringe systems experiencing unrest. Nothing that suggested open rebellion, just friction. "Insurgencies are common after conquest," her generals assured her. "They'll burn themselves out." Elias laughed when she mentioned it. "They won't," he said. "Because they're not insurgencies." "What are they then?" "Seeds." The first true shock came 3 weeks after the surrender. A Dominion shipyard over Volari-controlled space detonated without warning. No external attack. No detected breach. Investigations revealed the station's core had been reprogrammed using Dominion authorization codes, codes that should have been impossible for humans to access. Within hours, similar incidents followed across multiple systems. Factories halted. Defense grids turned inward. Automated fleets locked their own commanders out. The Dominion's perfect machine began to stutter. Elira convened an emergency council. Accusations flew. Generals demanded executions. Scientists spoke of unprecedented cyber warfare. "Find the source," Elira commanded. "Now." She already knew where it led. She returned to the prison. Elias looked worse, thinner, paler, but his smile was unmistakable. "Looks like your celebration was premature," he said. "You did this," Elira said flatly. "I started it," he replied. "Others are continuing it." "How?" she demanded. "You were captured. Cut off." Elias met her gaze. "You cut off your enemy's head. You didn't realize we don't fight with one." He explained then, not with pride, but with clarity. Human resistance cells embedded themselves during the war. Engineers who surrendered willingly. Refugees who weren't. Algorithms seeded into Dominion systems, dormant until activated. Psychological operations designed to fracture trust. "We knew we couldn't win outright," Elias said. "So we planned to make winning hurt." Elira felt something unfamiliar twist in her chest. "This will only lead to more death." "Yes," he agreed quietly, "but not just ours." As weeks turned into months, the Dominion struggled to maintain control. Every solution bred new problems. Every crackdown sparked wider resistance. Systems once loyal became unreliable. Volari commanders, trained for clear enemies and decisive strikes, found themselves fighting ghosts. And always, Elias Kane remained in his cell, alive by Elira's order, though many urged his execution. "Why keep him?" her second-in-command asked. "He's a symbol." "So am I," Elira replied. She visited Elias less frequently now, but when she did, their conversations changed. "You could end this," she said one day. "Call them off." Elias shook his head. "I don't command them anymore." "You started it." "Yes," he said. "And now it belongs to everyone who refuses to kneel." She studied him for a long time. "If I release you, would you stop?" He considered the question carefully. "No, then why should I spare you?" "Because," Elias said softly, "deep down, you already know this war can't be won the way you want to fight it." The breaking point came on the anniversary of the surrender. A coordinated uprising erupted across 17 core systems. Dominion forces were overwhelmed, not by superior firepower, but by sheer unpredictability. Civilian populations turned hostile. Supply lines collapsed. Even Valari citizens began questioning the cost of endless suppression. The council demanded drastic action: planetary purges, mass enslavement, scorched systems. Elira listened in silence. Then she stood. "No," she said. The chamber fell quiet. "This war has already hollowed us out," she continued. "Every world we burn, every life we erase, brings us closer to becoming something unrecognizable, even to ourselves." "You would show mercy?" a general sneered. "To humans? I would show wisdom," Elira said. "Something we have long mistaken for weakness." That night, she went to Elias one final time. "I'm ending it," she said. "Not with victory, with choice." Elias looked at her, truly surprised for the first time. "You'll lose your position." "I know. You might lose your life. Perhaps." She deactivated the energy field. "I'm releasing you," she said. "Not as a prisoner, as a negotiator." Elias stood slowly, unsteady but free. "Why?" Elira met his gaze. "Because you were right. I believed the battle was over. And now," she said, "I see the war had only just begun. And it doesn't have to end in extinction." Ending the talks lasted months. They were brutal, fragile, and often on the brink of collapse. Humans demanded autonomy. The Dominion demanded stability. Neither side trusted the other. But slowly, painfully, new terms emerged. Shared systems, mutual defense, limits on expansion, recognition, not absorption. Elira resigned her title during the final session. Elias watched as she removed the insignia from her armor and placed it on the table between them. "You don't have to do this," he said quietly. "Yes," she replied. "I do. Leaders who start wars should not be the ones to shape the peace." History would remember her as many things: conqueror, traitor, visionary. She accepted all of it. Years later, when Valari and human children studied the war, they would learn a different lesson than their ancestors had taught them. That the most dangerous moment was not defeat. It was the moment you believed the battle was over and failed to see that the human spirit was only just beginning.